And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your friend Cheap Ludes, looking suspiciously like Phil and Lil's mom from Rugrats. I'm not really sure how this happened, to be honest. I just kind of put on the first clothes that I found, and I'm kind of looking like... By the way, that lady was definitely... You know what I'm saying, okay? If you watch Rugrats, like, you know the vibes. Anyways, let's take a look at the market in NBA 2K23 My Team. Real interesting. I'm saying that Phil and Lil's mom was lesbian, 100%. There's no way that she wasn't. Anyways, not that I'm judging, but let's get real, okay? Anyways, the market, NBA 2K23 My Team, is taking a bit of a, I don't know, I want to say interesting turn, I would say. I'm not really sure. We got the Dreamer set on Friday. I'm just like, I don't know, man. This is probably the most boring set that we've received, if I'm being completely honest, right? Like, I talked about this a little bit on stream, and I just feel like this set just bored every piece of my body. So let's take a look at the actual cards themselves. So first things first, we got Amethyst Kevin Durant, who, I mean, realistically, let's take a look at other Kevin Durant, right? Wait, where's the other Kevin Durant? I have another Kevin Durant running around here somewhere. Where is he? Do I not have him? Oh, this is small forward primary, so I can't look at him. They're basically the same. He's a slightly, and I mean ever so slightly better version of the current series Durant. That being said, offensively, he's pretty good, and he's relatively cheap, so he might be worth picking up in that regard. I don't really have anything negative to say about this card, but I also don't have a whole lot of positive to say about him. Positives. Let's do pros and cons for each one of these cards. You know, this is going to be a new thing on the channel, I guess. Or I'll just forget about it completely after this video. I guess we'll see. Only time will tell. Pros to Kevin Durant. He has Hall of Fame guard up and is 6'10". That's a pro, for sure. He has the Kevin Durant fade, which is very effective, though not quite as effective on the Amethyst, but it is what it is. He's fast. I think this one's fast. I'll have to check. I mean, 81 speed for someone 6'10". Yeah, it's relatively fast. I mean, he's great offensively, and he's cheap. You can get him for about 4,000 or 5,000 MT. Cons: no defense whatsoever. Like, literally horrific defense. He's not that much better than the token one, but you can weigh out if like 4,000 MT is more valuable than 30 tokens, realistically. And then, yeah, that's about it. I don't really have too many cons. I mean, he's okay. George Muresan. All right, right off the bat, he moves like an absolute snail, dude. Like, I'm pretty sure he's slower than Ilgauskas. Yes, much slower than Ilgauskas. He's as slow as Yao Ming. That being said, he is easily, bar none, the best rebounding card in this entire game. You can make a case for Yao Ming, but Muresan is quite literally 7'7". That being said, his defensive tendencies, you know, 99 contest, 99 block. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of what you would expect. 58 pass intercepts, sneakily okay for someone of his size. He's going to be a mash man. Like, if you're on next gen, this man is going to mash better than almost anyone in this game. Like, he's near uncontestable in certain aspects. Like, if somebody is running a smaller center, like, if you're match up with someone running Jared Allen, there's absolutely no way they're going to stop him with George Muir. Like, they're not. George Muresan is not getting stopped. He's super slow, but he's 7'7", 303 pounds, and he can absolutely just decimate people in the post. Then we got Dennis Smith Jr., super cheap, like 2,000 MT cheap. He actually has a dynamic duo with J. Cole, which is just not a sentence I expected myself to say prior to this year. I mean, if you want to run the dynamic duo, go right ahead. Just like Kevin Durant, very good offensive player, very bad defensive player. This is one of those guys that's really fun to use offline. And online, he can definitely cook. I mean, the jump shot's elite. He's going to kind of boom over everybody. He's 6'2", so he's not the smallest person in the world. He's good. He is a fun card to play with, and he's someone I recommend picking up just for, if not for like limited or using in clutch time or anything like that, just for fun, playing offline. You're going to have a good time using Dennis Smith Jr. I think Dennis Smith has always been a really fun card to use offline. Like, he has. Let's look at the diamonds. Kyle Lowry. You know, he's super cheap, like 10,000 MT damn near. And although he's small, he's actually pretty good. Like, Deadeye, Challenger, Clamps, Glove, pretty okay jump shot. 34 gold badges, man. Like, he's got pretty much everything that you'd want him to have. Like, as far as badges he doesn't have, like, Claymore, I guess, but he'll be handling ball handling duty, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, you don't really need to give him Aerial Wizard. Guard up and Volume Shooter would be better if they were upgraded, but Kyle Lowry is actually really solid. He's just small. And he can't dunk. That's also, I guess, a negative. Then again, layups seem more overpowered than dunks in certain aspects this year, so it's like, take that for how you will, I guess, but elite level defense. Yes, he's small. He's going to get paint mashed for sure. He's actually really, really solid offensively. Like, he has a nasty step back too, especially going from the left side. Like, you can do a very nasty step back move with him that is near uncontestable if you're playing against someone that doesn't know how to contest these things. For that reason, like, for his price point, Kyle Lowry stacks right up with Alex Caruso as being one of the best budget point guards in this entire game. Like, he's worth a shot for sure. And I mean, I would say obviously DeJounte Murray is up there too, but his price just fluctuates so much. Like, it's usually over 40K that I wouldn't consider him like a budget card. Either way, very good. Ben Simmons is a defensive stopper and a rim running god. Now, that being said, he's also Ben Simmons, and he cannot shoot at all. He can't shoot mid-ranges, he can't shoot close-up shots, he can't shoot threes. So you kind of have to accept the fact that he's not going to be able to shoot from anywhere on the court. But you also can accept that this year, you can win games without shooting a single jump shot with relative ease. So, for that, I would say Ben Simmons is actually kind of nasty, because you could literally just rim run with him on current gen, or you can paint mash with him on next gen. I mean, he does have Hoff, Quick First Step, Clamp Breaker, Posterizer, and Bully. So he's basically set up for this current meta that we're living in. Like, he can be a point forward. You could run Ben Simmons as your primary point guard very easily. Like, obviously, you can't play the point guard position, but, like, hypothetically speaking, let's say you're running, I don't even want to say Caruso, but, like, DeJounte Murray. Let's say you're running DeJounte Murray at point guard, you're running, like, Lance Stevenson at shooting guard, you're running Ben Simmons at small forward, and then you're running whoever at power forward center. You could very effectively run your entire offense through Ben Simmons. Like, Ben Simmons isn't exactly the best in relation to dribble godding. Like, if you're trying to dribble god with Ben Simmons, you're not going to have, like, a great time. He's got normal dribble style. Like, he does have Kawhi's behind the back, which is okay and stuff like that. So he's not inept in that department, but the defense is legit. He's fast. He can rim run on anybody. He presents what I would like to say is a bit of a matchup nightmare, especially because majority of people you play are not going to play with a brain in their head, and they're immediately going to go to their settings, and they're going to switch their best defender, which is quite often either their shooting guard or their small forward, onto your point guard, and then you can abuse that matchup with Ben Simmons. So he is kind of a matchup nightmare. You're going to have the most success with him if you're playing against someone that likes to take their small forward and put it on the point guard. You're going to have a lot of success. So for that reason, he's probably worth it. It just depends how you play, realistically. 50K is a little steep, though. This Kevin Durant is an absolute travesty, dude. Oh, my God. Okay, guard ups, still on Hoff. Cool. Catch and shoot and amped. It's a good combination. But let's talk about the badges he can't have for just a second here, because this is despicable. So you're going to notice that he's missing a few pretty key badges that he's not able to get. So this Kevin Durant is not able to get Agent 3. Okay, not the biggest deal in the world. Cards are going to have limitations. Okay, you can't get Limitless Range at all while his Pink Diamond has gold. Okay, that's not really that cool, but you can shoot from anywhere this year if you can green consistently. All right, whatever. Limitless Takeoff. Okay, and Posterizer. All right, at this stage, Kevin Durant wasn't really postering people that often, so whatever. Or Bully. Okay, sure. Then you go down to Playmaking. He cannot get Clamp Breakers. Okay, Clamp Breaker. That's kind of not cool. Or Mismatch Expert, which whatever, it doesn't really matter. Then you go down to the defensive side of things, and I don't expect him to have every defensive badge in the game, but like combo with no Clamp Breaker, no Limitless, no Agent 3, and no Limitless or Posterizer. And then he can't get Anchor, Brick Wall, Challenger, Clamps, Glove, Interceptor, Menace. And he basically, like, offensively, he's going to be okay, but They just did this card so dirty compared to the pink diamond, which has majority of these things. Like, I think that's the most egregious thing they did with this. Like, the pink diamond has limitless takeoff and silver posterizer. In addition to that, gold range, which is, you know, super frustrating for sure. And Hoff Agent 3, which is just like, what? Okay, cool. In addition to that, gold clamp breaker, silver anchor. He can't get interceptor, but he has glove, clamps, and challenger, and menace on gold. So they basically just said, big middle finger to anyone who wants the diamond version, dude. If you don't have the pink diamond version, you don't have one worth a salt. I mean, that being said, I mean, this Kevin Durant is OP for sure. Like, obviously, angry tirade aside, like, he's very, very good. If you're wondering why there was a cut there, it's because my cat is annoying and will not stop screaming at the top of her tiny, tiny little lungs. For what reason, I'm not entirely sure. I'm guessing she wants food or something. We'll find out later, you know, to be continued. Anyhow, then we got the homie Ricky Davis. Now, if you had told me at the beginning of this year that at one point during the My Team life cycle, the two best cards in the game were going to be Tim Thomas and Ricky Davis, I probably would have looked at you like, yo, yeah, that's sick, but there's no possible way that happens. But here we are, dude. Shout out to Ricky Davis, dude. Ricky Davis was actually kind of a bucket. Like, I know he gets memed on a lot for that thing he said about not needing LeBron. Like, LeBron was just there to help him score. But, like, Ricky Davis was pretty nasty. And he did get a triple-double by shooting on his own basket. I don't think they counted it, but he tried. A for effort, for sure. I wish they would let us do that in 2K. That'd be great. That would solve pretty much all of my issues. But Ricky Davis is no joke. Like, he is clear in a way, I would say, the best two guard in this entire game. 6'7", 6'10" wingspan, like 92 3-pointer. Seth Curry's release is honestly a little bit too fast in certain ways. Michael Jordan dribble style, Dame's behind the back, which is the clear-cut best behind the back in the game, in my opinion, anyway. Normal leaner, like, he has all the best things, for sure. Badge-wise, I mean, he's not really missing anything. Like, he doesn't have comeback kid. Like, okay, and some defensive badges, but Ricky Davis is cracked to the maximum, which leads me to believe that anytime that we get, like, a random, like, dude from the 2000s, like, there has to be a guy like me that's working at 2K at this current moment, because, like, the guys that they've been juicing this year are just so random. Like, dude, it's kind of awesome, though, at the same point. But it's like, I'll never afford these cards, so it's not quite as awesome as I, like, would have liked it to be. You know, if it was, like, a diamond Ricky Davis that maybe had a few less badges, like, I'd be hyped, because I'm maybe actually able to afford that card, but it's pink diamond Ricky Davis. Like, it couldn't be pink diamond Ben Simmons and diamond Ricky Davis. You're telling me that couldn't be a thing? Like, pink diamond Ben Simmons still didn't have to shoot, but you could have gave Ricky Davis the Knights, whatever, dude. Anyways, are any of these cards worth picking up? Kyle Lowry, I would say, is worth picking up for his price. He is going to be a small point guard, but you can get away with running small point guards for the foreseeable future anyhow. This Durant is not worth it. If you're going to pick up Durant, just go pick up the Amethyst one, because he's like 2,000 MT. If you got the MT for these guys, you don't need to ask me if you should pick anyone up. You just pick them up, honestly. Ben Simmons for a certain play style, for sure. Looking at everybody else, I mean, look at how many DeMar DeRozans there are. There's two. DeMar DeRozan is still 1.5 million. He's actually more expensive now, which, I'll be honest, I had somebody ask me if they should sell DeMar the other day, and I really didn't think his price would hold up like this, so hope you got a good amount of MT. I mean, he's going for around 1.5, so his price really hasn't changed all that much. I mean, the other day he was going for like 1.3, so maybe you cost yourself 200k, but geez, not yourself. I mean, you listen to other people's advice, but the reality of the situation, no creator really knows the market. I don't care how many times people say they know the market like the back of their hand, and market gurus, like, it's all random. It's volatile. DeJounte Murray's still really, really good, but the price point on him is a little bit high. 40k is still worth it if you're trying to be competitive, though, I will say. From a budget perspective, I actually really like Kelly Oubre Jr. Kareem's still a nice price. I mean, let's kind of look at everyone else. I think, yeah, Ron Artest. Diamond Ron Artest, I think, is one of the best value cards in the game at 20k. I mean, he's really the only budget shooting guard besides Lance Stevenson that you could realistically run. Yao Ming still like that expensive? That's crazy. I figured people would give up on them by now, but it is what it is. I mean, all cards are expensive. Like, those that tout the 2K market this year, like, it just sucks because it's like you look through this and there's not very many improvements you can make on your team. Like, if you're running a few diamonds and a few amethysts at this point of the meta variety, I mean, dude, there's not very many changes you can make to your team. That's why I haven't brought back the squad tip series yet, because it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? There's just not very many changes you could realistically make. So it's tough to really say, like, yeah, you should definitively make these choices. Because, I mean, like, even diamonds are, like, over 30K for the most part. So, I mean, you're probably running amethyst. Like, realistically. Guys like Jared Allen are still 40K, too. You know what I mean? Like, Robert Williams is a really good budget card. His jump shot is very hit or miss. I'm personally not a big fan of him. But he plays lights out defense and grabs a lot of rebounds. So, he's good in my book. Drazen kind of sucks. I'm not a big fan of him. I was kind of very disappointed by his card. Gary Payton is still 600K, dude. This is cracked. Jared Vanderbilt's pretty good if you can get an Evo'd one. But an Evo Jared Vanderbilt's still going to run you probably 20, 30K. So it doesn't really matter. Nobody's Evoing these cards. Like, Evo Montrezl Harrell is running 18,000. Like, that's wild. He's actually kind of decent, but, you know, it's like the principles that matter. PJ Tucker's pretty good. There's like no Evo PJ Tuckers though, so I feel like people like his Evo a lot. And 6'5" is a little small for the small forward, but he's kind of decent. Either way, you know, I didn't want to bring this up, but we also have Danny Manning Takeover, which it doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna like get this card anyway, so I'm not really tripping on it. Really wish they changed the Takeover agendas because it's just like kind of pointless. Like, I'm not going to be able to play all this in a week. I mean, realistically, if I sat down, abandoned all things in my life and did this, I probably could, but I don't really want to do that for a 94 overall Danny Manning that'll get replaced in probably like a week. So it is what it is. As always, it's been your friend Cheap Ludes. I will see you guys next time. Peace.